Welcome back, prisoners! And this time we actually are in the ghetto prison right off the bat. We are in cycle 607, and from this episode onwards, unless something weird happens, this is going to basically be the push for beating the game. If I have to spend like 20, 30, 100 cycles so that each episode from this point onwards is focusing on completing the game, that's what I will have to do. Let's talk about what has been going on. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. So, we're running out of the oil here, as you can see, and the line got jammed for a while. So I reworked the system a little bit and dug this out. I'll probably order a priority 5 dig right here just to kind of create a little more space for them to drill through. But yeah, we're not running out of oil. It's just that the oil wants to go elsewhere, so we'll probably have to build the pump somewhere over here to get that oil, and there's not nearly as much over... I mean, there is some, but not nearly as much over here. But I want to try to get it all before we start relying on the oil reservoirs. So that's what we did over there. Then up here, we've got the mega slicksters. There's a lot of them here. Let me see. So this miscellaneous room has 35 slicksters or slickster eggs, either or both of them count towards it. And the reason I like this is because I don't have to take care of them if they're outside of the stable, so they don't die of starvation. So that's an advantage there. This area got redesigned. We were having power problems again, and I think it was because we were just diverting too much attention away from other objectives. So I moved these up because for some reason they weren't able to tune them up. We weren't able to get that big bonus. But what that meant is I was going to free this area up. I turned these into 2 separate rooms and a whole bunch of power smart batteries. Bunch of smart batteries. Temperature. You can see here that the Weezeworts are starting to impact the area. We've got 90 degrees here instead of the over 100-ish degrees over there. This area is cooling down thanks to both the Weezewort and the cold area. All of our critters are stocked back up. Transferring things. This got moved over. I think it got moved over. I forgot what happened. Something happened. So I believe what we're going to do is we're going to demolish this area and make another mess hall. So let's go ahead and do that. Because this isn't enough. We were able to get some more hydrogen in here. As you can see, much thicker layer of hydrogen for the glossy Drecos. Go ahead to medium speed. Just let them catch up on their chores. Over here, we did a lot of work. We've got... This is finally done. I haven't activated it yet. I have filled it up with oxygen, though. You can see the oxygen level is pretty high. But this area we have built further up. This is all our petroleum reserves. This... I can't remember if I built this last episode up. Our power transformer, successfully splitting off the power. I vacuumed this area out in order to fix the chlorine room. The chlorine room is now fixed. Remember, there was some oxygen in. Well, we still got this one little puff of oxygen, but it's basically clean. It's got another supply of chlorine right here just to make sure that the gas pressure maintains itself. But, yeah, I vacuumed up this area to get some hydrogen. The hydrogen went to the... Who did it go to? It went to the glossy Drecos. Then I built this, which is now allowing us to get both of our rockets going simultaneously. This rocket can't do anything until we get the research. So we are now at the stage where we are ready to start taking on fuel. And I'm going to fuel it up slowly, so I'm capping it at 500 right now. So let's go ahead and open this up. Speed things up to the max. And we also need to start adding in our oxalite. So let's go ahead and get the oxalite. Hit this to the max. We have this button here as a way to... Oh, it looks like the automation might not be... Got this to a 9. Why aren't they putting any in? Oh, I see. There we go. This has to pump the oxygen in. Okay, there we go. Now it's on. Okay, so the way this thing works is this pumps in the oxygen, And this thing eats up a little bit of gold, not a whole lot of gold, but it does eat up. It uses gold, milligrams of gold, very little gold, but nevertheless, it still eats up some gold. And then it starts condensing the oxygen into the rocky form, into like the oxalite, the mineral, and then this auto sweeper just throws it in here. It is going to off-gas, like it's going to start evaporating, which is why we want to try to keep the pressure in the area high. It's kind of hard to do, though, but as long as the pressure is above 1.8 kilograms, then these things won't off-gas, they won't start to evaporate. But, you know, that's the best we could do for the most part. I mean, we could add a second one of these in here to make double the amount of oxygen. That would probably pressurize it better. And then over here, what's going to happen is we're going to move this up to a 9. I'm actually going to deactivate this. I don't want them to put any of it in. They're putting the oxalite in here. They need to be putting it in here. Because this, I mean, the oxalite will get used in this one, but it needs to be used in this one first. As you can see, it's not super efficient because they have to manually deliver the oxalite, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. I can't move this any closer without it interfering with the rocket. I mean, maybe we could build it underneath and they wouldn't have as far to go. But the main point is that they're going to start fueling that up. What is stopping our petroleum? Okay, this is what's stopping our petroleum. We can see this little meter rising as it's reaching. If you change this capacity, then it will change the scale of this meter. So this meter is just telling us how close we are getting to 500 kilograms, and we're trying to go in the same quantity. Okay, so here comes our petroleum, which will probably fuel this up, but we actually it won't because we have this set to 0 capacity, so it's immediately going to start filling up our rocket over here. It doesn't take very long either. The petroleum, it doesn't need too much petroleum in order to get to that 500-ish kilograms. We're probably going to need more than 500, but that's going to be our first testing point. So they're working on it. They're doing okay. It's getting there. Now what we can do is we can actually take a look at our thrust. So we want to continue getting research. That's our goal. We need more research in order to complete these right here. That's what we really want. Once we get this done, then we can actually start using 2 rockets at once. So let's go back here. So our total thrust is about 5,500 kilometers, and the weight of the rocket is reducing our effective thrust by 2,200 kilometers. So we have to we need 20,000 kilometers of thrust plus the additional weight. So we need basically 22,000 kilometers of thrust in order to have the fuel to get there and back, as well as overcome the weight penalty of what we've put on it. Now, these modules here, they don't weigh that much. The cargo modules, they are very heavy, though. They're extremely heavy. One of the things I found that's interesting while they were working on that, let me go find it. Where is it? So I found this carbon dioxide geyser that emits boiling liquid carbon dioxide. I'm like, oh god, boiling liquid, that doesn't sound good. But then it hit me, wait a second, boiling by carbon dioxide standards is actually extremely cold. And yes, it emits carbon dioxide 440 grams per second at basically negative 70 degrees. So, I mean, I could surround this and like just start dripping liquid carbon dioxide into like these really hot areas. I mean, it's going to evaporate and turn to regular carbon dioxide almost instantly, if not instantly. But I mean, it'll be so cold that it might actually be a pretty good idea. It might be a good way to just get some lower temperatures into the area. Okay, they're getting there. They're almost up to 200 kilograms. Once this gets to 500 kilograms, which will even out with the amount of petroleum fuel, So somebody dropped the oxalite because their break began. But that's one thing that really annoys me, is that they just drop whatever material they had on the ground, even if it's like a volatile material that like that, it's going to start evaporating, which is really annoying. Another thing is that this is going to get hot in here, which is why these Wheezeworts are here to try to compensate for the heat of the oxalite refinery, but yeah, that's going to take some effort. So over here, as you can see, we've nearly completed the shield. We need a little more steel, and oh, we got another print available. No, I guess I'll just take the blossom seeds. So I'm guessing our steel refinery requires, needs carbon. So let's queue up another 10 refined carbon. This is heating up in here again because this broke down again. And it broke down because it got too cold. And so the way I'm going to counter that is by adding a gas pipe sensor. I'm just going to add one of these where if it gets too cold, it's just going to shut these down next time. Because the problem is that when these pipes break, it's because the hydrogen has turned to liquid, and then the liquid leaks out. It bursts out of the pipe, and then it immediately heats back up into regular hydrogen and a gas, and then you got to go like take the effort to go find it again, so it's kind of a pain. Overall, this area's got a lot of carbon dioxide in it, which is why we're using this over here to get some of it out of here slowly. I have it set to, maybe I'll set it to 500. There, if it's above 500 grams, we will continue pumping this out. Eventually these slicksters will just eat everything up and it won't be a problem anymore. I believe our geyser is dormant right now. Or no, it just now started. So, where was that hydrogen vent at? Oh, so here's the hydrogen vent. Oh, this thing is actually ventilating. But it shouldn't be able to ventilate anything, even though it's got the animation. So, this hydrogen comes out at 932 degrees, and I was always wondering, like, how do I deal with that? Like, that's really hot. And it hit me that the key is that we just needed a better metal. We need thermium. Because thermium has that extreme heat resistance. I'm like, okay, so that's how we're going to deal with it. We're not really ready for the molecular forge yet, but that doesn't mean we can't construct it. Where is it? Gonna go probably right here. And then I'm going to put a light because this thing heats up and uses up a lot of electricity. So having that light bonus there where they use basically they get through their actions quicker. Like that's pretty handy. Just because the faster, in addition to things just being more efficient if you can do them faster, it also means that you use less electricity, which is obviously really nice. It's annoying. Trying to clean this area up a bit. I don't like how wacky this ladder is. Let's just do this. No. Let's not build that out of gold amalgam. That thing gets pretty hot. Refinement. Let's build this out of... Oh, we don't have any steel available. Well, that's fine. We'll build it after they complete. It's like I said, we're not even ready to use the molecular forge yet. Let's see how this is looking. Oh, we've got... We've been digging out this area, as you can see. Working on trying to clear the regolith. Just because, like, the regolith does have some pretty good stuff in it. This will allow us to get to the bottom. Honestly, we could probably start demolishing some of this stuff here, which will allow us to build the... It'll just allow us to build the area quicker. Build it out of mafic rock. The main reason I want a roof to be here is because what I don't want to happen is I don't want this crap to fall down and cover the area so they have trouble getting in and out. Which is very likely to happen. Oh, look at this. They're overfilling it for some reason. Let's check our thrust. Okay, so looks like we have enough to get here, but that's not where we're trying to go. We're almost there. Our total range is 1,700. So our total thrust is 2,000, which that's we have more oxalite than fuel. So let's match it. We're up to 600, so let's match it. Let's add this up to 600. The fuel immediately enters and quickly fills it up to the max. Let's see where we are now. Oh, that's enough. We're slightly over, so maybe 550 would have been good enough. So we're gonna, in order to prevent them from just mindlessly adding more oxalite in, I'm gonna retract the gantry. And now we are going to assign Joseph Bailey, our good old astronaut, because this one's ready to go. We need to rename this. This one is gonna be called the greasy inquisitive phallus. Oh, the greasy smart, the greasy curious phallus Mark II. M2. 2. There. Stupid limitations on characters. It's like make your password like, oh, your password's too long, or your password's too short, your password needs capital letters, your password needs numbers, your password needs a symbol. I'm like, oh my gosh, make up your mind already. I have a feeling that this ladder here is about to get toasted, but that's fine. There was a little bit of steel that fell right here, so I built that up there to go get it. Okay, Joseph. Where are you? What are you doing? You are stuck, apparently. Why are you stuck? At what point? We gotta find out. At what point do you... Oh, okay, I see the problem. So this is where you get stuck. Okay, cancel all of this. I want you to... First, let's check. What kind of materials are available? Sandstone? Yep, okay. So we're... Despite the fact that I would not expect sandstone to be a nearby material, that's why you check. Oh, well, we don't need to do that one. Well, it looks like Joseph will need some time to prepare to be the astronaut. That's fine. Let's go back to building this out of mafic rock. Whoa, let's not build it at a maximum priority, though, because that can interfere with... Build it at a 6. Because that has a tendency to screw around with their... Deconstruct at a 6 as well. Good. Oh, looks like he's ready. He's got to go the long way. All right. Retract the gantry. Let's... Okay, let's make sure. Now what we could do is... The launch path is blocked. Oh. Warps! Okay, so this time we actually will build this on an emergency. Let's use iron. Well, let's use gold. No, let's use iron. Iron rains from the sky, typically. So there's probably a lot of it here. Yeah, build those real quick. We need to leave. We need out of here. Was there really no iron or anything? Oh my gosh, let me scan for metals. Metals! Copper, gold, amalgam. Copper. Oh, it looks like there was no refined metal. Oh, that's the wrong one. It needs to be on this. It's on the wrong grid. It needs to be on this grid. Fortunately, that's not that big of a deal. All we gotta do is deconstruct that one. There we go. Come on, you dupes. Get this stuff built. Wow, you could tell West does not have exosuit training. Look at that run. Look at this run speed. That's that, like... Whereas everyone else is like Speedy Gonzalez. They're getting there. There we go. The line is almost complete. It's just this area right here that needs it. Come on, finish it up. Finish it up. You can do it. There we go. Oh, crap. They need electricity. God! It's always something. Okay, so... They need electricity. Of course they do. What we're gonna do is build another one of these things. Build it at a 7. Okay, it looks like we're not quite ready after all. Spin it around like this. Build one of these here. Let's go ahead and unpause it to start getting it going. Build a insulated tile here. There we go. Now, that has its own set of problems, namely that we're going to need a way for them to get up there. Of course. So let's go ahead and do that. I don't know why these are opening. They shouldn't have electricity. They shouldn't be able to open. I also shouldn't complain. Because they're opening, apparently. And that means we're going to be able to launch the missile, or the rocket. It's opening super slowly. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they can open with or without electricity, but with electricity they just go faster. Oh my god, it's so unbelievably slow. Yeah, you would never be able to open and shut these in time for protecting yourself against meteorites. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because we're gonna launch the rocket. I have plenty of time. I mean, like, I could just check this over right now if I wanted. Those things will take the acorn, I guess. Oh my god. It's so slow. Oh, get finished. Oh my god. It's oh. Oh my god, we're finally done. Wow. Clean this crap up. Clean this. Make sure we don't uproot our... We could accidentally uproot our... What do you call it? Okay, this thing should be able to launch now. But let's not launch. It probably doesn't matter. The suits actually can handle a lot of heat. Okay, so now we can pick which one we want to go to. Do we want to research this one? Or do we want to research this one? I think we want to research this one, because this one could have fullerene as one of the hidden resources. And fullerene is one of the things that we really want as these exotic items. So this is the one we're going to do. See the rocket list. Okay, are you ready? Let me see if I can get a good screenshot. I mean, it's really hard to get a good screenshot of this. So this stuff leaves behind really, really hot. Like, we're talking about 2,000 degree carbon dioxide. Just blasts it down in there. And since it's farther, it's going to take longer for them. It's going to take 5.5 cycles for them to do that. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is we're just going to jump cut to when the rocket gets back. And I'm just going to straighten up the base. No! Meteor shower! Ah! It's just... don't damage my base. The things are like, we will shut very slowly. No. We just had a meteor shower. I hate when they come twice in a row. Anyways, now I'm gonna be back for real. Alright, welcome back. And we are expecting the return of Joseph Bailey any moment. Don't know when, but very soon. Because his trip is, what, 98% done? So his rocket should be returning shortly. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be also... This is not going to be done in one episode. This is going to take a very long time to do. But we're going to be building... basically, you see these little markers here? These are the markers for the floors. Every 5 tiles I make a floor. And, yep, this is going to be where the diamond window layer is going to go in. Oh, there it is. And here comes the data banks. And is that a... Somebody made a mess. Why? Why did you make a mess? Oh. Yeah, we that's why I built that. Yeah, hold on. We're having a suit problem. Basically, somebody has an extra suit that they shouldn't have. And that's why that happened. Okay, this needs to be fixed immediately. Like, that's going to cause a problem. This is going to be for clothing. All clothing right now. Basically, the problem is that normally this is set to... Okay, and we've got people who are getting into here when they shouldn't be. The way we need to... delete these real quick. Get out of here. And then I need to get rid of these as well. Okay, now there should be no way for them to... 1 Atmos suit, 2 Atmos suits. And can I change them by alphabetical order? That would be really a lot easier. No, I can't change them by alphabetical order. How many suits do we have in total? We need to take inventory real quick. Let's see. Okay, let's redo all of this. There's too many of them. Clothing. So we have 2 loose Atmos suits. I'm gonna leave this as at a 9. Take the oxalite. Okay. Anyways, like the duplicants always find ways to muck things up. Okay. Let's extend the gantry to let Joseph out. Very nice. Now we'll retract the gantry back. And, is this what I think it is? Yes, it's a vacillator recharge. Where is our vacillator at? Here it is. So now we can reuse this. Picking up the data, very good. We should be able to... I don't know if we'll be able to get the research done this episode, but... So I cleared this area out to stop this... There's just this crazy transfer of heat that's going on that I'm trying to shut down. Here's the planetarium. Good, they are reloading it. He's getting started on this research. Very good. Let's check our research, actually. How are we looking? Okay, yeah, we're looking pretty good. Oh, let's check what our reconnaissance told us. So, this is going to reveal the hidden items. So the hidden items were obsidian and abyssalite, which is awful. So I guess this is also refueling our rocket. We can extend the gantry to start reloading in the... We know we don't need as much. We'll put 550 in. I also want to set this to 550. It's too late because it's already pumped in the 600, but next time... Although it won't... Actually, it's not going to matter because... we probably won't visit the same location twice. Let's turn that back on so we can start this. Let's also turn this off. Okay. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to build the defensive layer. Why are we going to use diamond? You might think, oh my god, isn't diamond, like, really valuable? Isn't it, like, super expensive or something? But, actually not really. Diamond is actually not all that valuable. And the reason for that is because glass itself isn't used for too much. Glass is it's not a resource that it's not a resource that has a ton of use. And I want the glass to come up to about right here, which is basically the edge of this right here. And then what I'm gonna do is plug these little areas up right here, which when the regolith falls down, basically I don't want any of it to get down here. It's going to take a long time for them to bring the glass or the diamond up, and also I'm going to have to remove some of these redundant ladders, like this one here. We could just cut this ladder off. That's completely fine. And this ladder will probably both of these ladders are going to stay in the event I need to mess with these power lines, but that's fine. They can stay there. Not a big deal. What build order is that? Yeah, I'm going to leave these on a low build order because it's something that's going to take so long that it could easily distract everybody from more important things. We will dig on priority 9, though. Clear this stuff away. As we dig up the regolith, there are buried items in there, and that's probably metal. Get ourselves a little bit of free metal, which is always nice. What I'm hoping to do, the way I want to end this episode is I want to get this research done. Trying to see if there's anything else that I want to do before I do another jump cut. But no, I probably am going to do another jump cut. We're going to send another... We'll probably send the rocket off again. And I might promote an additional... I may promote an additional astronaut. Oh, this is a problem. What's happening over here? We need to cut this automation grid off. Just like that. To stop this thing from going crazy. Check our research. Over halfway there. They should be able to get it done. So let's choose another astronaut. And it's probably going to be the other Joe, because he's our... In order to become an astronaut, you have to have knowledge of research, and you have to have that, so... Bam. Joe Davis now is our... Both of the Joes are our... What do you call it? Our astronauts. We need to get exosuit... Everyone needs exosuit training. Let me get exosuit training on pretty much everybody. Super hard digging. You need exosuit training. Bingo. Oh. Take that too. I think I'm gonna have you wear the mechatronics hat. Exo, why is your morale so low? Oh, it's because you're spending so much time in the ugly areas. You can become an exosuit training. Definitely exosuit training. That's probably good enough. We're moving a lot of morale points around at the moment. Okay, so I'm gonna jump cut again, and I'll return either when the research is done, or when we're ready to send another rocket off, or when I'm gonna begin to build more of this stuff. Okay, I am back. I'm actually testing a new, more automatic system, where basically this thing will not allow any water to come through if it has even one germ on it. If it has even one germ, then this is gonna shut off and prevent it from getting through, and it's just going to continuously recycle these around. That's basically the strategy. And then I've got I've got this over here, so that I can just shut this off whenever I want. And at the same time, it's got this kind of crisscrossing formation, which allows me to attempt to keep things supplied up. Not sure how well it's going to work. It's still kind of a, like this, what I might probably gonna do is shut this one off. And I'm just going to let this one continue to drain out for a while. And over here, I've got like this little kind of test area to make sure that basically the water that we catch is indeed clean. I can test it. So this water here was not clean. That's why it is over there. I'm just going to dump the germy water out here. But we completed our research, so we can now build the cargo bay. This requires 1,000 steel. It's quite a expensive build. It's also very heavy. One of these is equivalent to like 5 of these in terms of the weight. Let's see how this rocket's going to be looking. We don't quite have the thrust for it yet. We need about 3,000 more kilometers. But at the same time, there's still more room for oxalite. So, oh gosh. Looks like we've got a problem with things being buried. Once again, make sure I don't drag over the Wheezeworts, because the dig command also is the uproot command. As you can see, already starting to block some of the regolith from collapsing in. So far, it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. I mean, it's constantly trapping the water in there, and the water is just constantly being forced to recycle. And if this one fills up, we have a backup tank. That's the point of this one. If I leave it on too long, it'll back up into that one, which is fine. And all of these are still spending a lot of time inside there. Eventually, what I believe will happen is it will kill enough of the germs. And that's probably enough, so let's shut this off. Because we want to make sure that there's still some water in the system. If there's no water in the system, then, well... Then these are going to run out of water. So let's make sure there's still some water in the system remaining. Also, I got this, what do you call it? Bridge, because the bridge helps to kind of tell the game what direction the water should generally flow. And I want... These are more important than these, so I've got this over here. And I also have cut this off, and what that means is that the water is now forced to enter into this one, and that means that the bridge is going to force these ones to be supplied. When the bridge fills and there's nothing, then it will move into here as a secondary, because it'll attempt to move into here, but because this one's also shut off, it means that they just can't do anything about it. Now the water just kind of trapped in a loop for a while until all of the germs are removed. Obviously, it's kind of annoying because we got the pipe blocked. Oh, looks like some of it's coming out. Oh, look at that. So there are some germs here, but that's fine. All that matters is it in the water? It looks like it is still in the water. So what I'm going to do is expand this like this, just to let it catch a little bit more. And then we'll basically keep going back to the drawing board and keep redesigning it. Until we can get a more automated system. Like there's a prototype for it. And we have to seal these up to make sure none of the water drips down into there. Ugh, I can feel that wave of lag. So let's go ahead and make this a sweep only and all liquid sweep only. Sweep this crap out of here. And we'll knock this up to a 9. And I'll make these a 9 as well. Just so that we can be assured that we are cleaning some of this crap up. Yeah, I can already see some of the germs condensing in there, so that means, like I said, we're going to keep retrying this idea, and like I said, you always want to have some fail-safes at the ready. You always want to make sure that you are locking some of this stuff away so that in the event you do mess it up, you can just keep trying. Try the idea a second time. Anyways, let's return to the rocket. So now that is there, so now we can put this on. Make that a 9. Gotta dig this crap up again. This is why people often use auto miners. The auto miners are kind of a pain to set up. That is why people like to use auto miners, I should say, just because it's going to constantly bring stuff down. But if you can get everything set up, the surface is going to give you a huge amount of electricity from farming the solar energy. Oh wait, this is probably filled up, yeah. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Oh, we're a little short. Okay. What's this crap doing here? 9. Oops, don't trim through that. Let's bump it up to 575. We'll let it fill completely. Oh, it's up to 600, so it needs to be 625 maybe? 625. Let's see how this looks. Ah, there we go. Oh, that's right on the money. 20,200, that's basically perfect. We don't need... It's okay if you waste a little fuel. We're just trying to... Basically, what it means is we can just leave it at 625. Well, that's not true, because we're going to continue researching further and further away. So, as you can see now, we're going to have 2 launches in 1 episode. So that's like... That's pretty efficient. And then even this one here, we can start also fueling this one up. So let's start at 500. Let's also clean this crap up. Extend the gantry. Retract the gantry so they stop adding excessive oxalite. What are we starting at? 500? Let's see, where do we want to loot? What we're looking for is... Ah, here's fullerene. So this is not a bad area to go to. Select a rocket. The Daring Explorer. Wait a second. Can this already make it there? This thing has 400 tons of oxalite in it already. Hold on a second. Retract the gantry. Is this thing already ready to go? Okay, hold on a second. So this has fullerene, refined carbon. That would be valuable. Like, it would prevent us from needing to refine it manually. This one also has fullerene, also in trace amounts. Looks like they're basically identical. This one has more... This one looks better. It has more refined carbon and more diamond. Diamond would be useful because we wouldn't have to bring it up from the bottom of the map as much. So I like this one here. Wow. Looks like we actually... So we need... Okay, looks like we are... I wasn't expecting to be prepared this quickly. So what we're going to have to do is trim these away to make room for the gantry. Let's put this all on a maximum priority. Put this here. Can I fit the gantry in? Yes. Automation wire, copy to there. This is a 9. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do is put this on. Okay, so they're not gonna put any more fuel in. We don't want them to put any excessive quantities of fuel in. We're gonna go ahead and send... Joe Davis is already assigned to it. Or Joe Davis is going to be assigned to this one, and Joe Bailey is going to be assigned to that one. So, basically, Joseph Bailey is going to be our researcher. He's going to be the one going out to explore the new areas. Meanwhile, Joe Davis is going to be... Let's also knock this down a bit. I want this to be an 8. It's not quite as important. Basically, I want them to prioritize getting in the rocket over anything else. We have an Atmos suit. Don't lie to me, boy. So they need to deliver the Atmos suit to it. Oh my gosh, I'm getting impatient. Maximum priority. Oh, this is gonna need electricity as well. Forgot about that. Fortunately, since we've already built this, that's actually kind of already taken care of. Yeah, all we need is for Joe Bailey to board. So, Joe Davis is already ready. Is there a reason he can't get there? Let me see. Is he able to make it there? Yes, he can. I guess there's just something that's occupying his time. Let's retract the gantry before they decide to try and escape. Turn this to a 9. Okay, so this one should be ready to launch. This is Joe Davis's rocket. And we're gonna change this one to... into the Greedy Donger. That's going to be the name of this one. Mark 1. The Greedy Donger 1. And get ready to launch. I don't want this to be in yellow right now, so that we can launch without the yellow filter. Okay, here we go. You're heading off. So, we've hit the launch button. This is going to come back with 1 ton of material, and it's going to be a mixture of... The way it's going to work is... It's going to take a mixture of this in approximately the percentages you see. So we're going to get out of 1 ton of material. Some of it's going to be refined carbon. Some of it's going to be coal. Some of it's going to be diamond. There'll be a small amount of fullerene, and some of it will be abyssalite. That's the way it works. It's going to take some of everything in the proportions here for 1 ton. That's basically how it's going to work. So off he goes. Off he goes. Oh, there's a meteor shower, so the doors are shut. Well, looks like his trip is going to be slightly delayed. That gives Joe Bailey a chance to... Where is Joe Bailey at? Where is he? I want to launch him at the same time. Here you are. You are supposed to be doing this. I'll manually order him. Maybe that will reprogram him into... Is there a priority for rockets? Digging, storing, supplying. There we go. That's all it is. He just needed to be, like, manually directed to it. Okay, gantries are retracted. Are these open? Yes, we have daylight. Okay, so here we go. We're going to launch this one here. And we're going to launch this one to... Good, yeah, those are... Oh, man, that's going to be so cool. We're going to launch them at the same time. Oh, yeah. That's so going to be the screenshot. 2 rockets at once, boy. So, the Greedy Donger will be back in basically 3 cycles, and the Greasy Curious Phallus 2 is going to be back in 5.5 cycles. But you know what? That's going to be the end of this episode. I will return after when they've brought their stuff back. That's where we're going to pick up in the next episode. So. Like I said, from this point onward, every episode I want it to be progress towards beating the game. In order to beat the game, just to remind everybody, we have to do 2 things. We have to qualify for this. We've already had 16 morale before, just someone was in the ugly area long enough. Breach the temporal tear. That would be right here. That's the farthest distance. And I think we need to build the Great Monument. And the Great Monument is... Here it is, the monument components. It requires like 7,500 steel, 2,500 obsidian. It requires a bunch of junk. It's just made out of a bunch of expensive stuff just to show you, like, oh, look how cool I am. I'm like the bee's knees, basically. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode. As you can see, the petroleum rockets, they take more effort to get set up, but once you get them set up, you can actually launch them pretty aggressively. And if you see here, look, our petroleum reserves are still looking pretty nice. We can always make more. We've got a good supply of petroleum just sitting here. Plus, we've got this. We could just continue pumping this back into there to make even more petroleum. We've got more of the oil down here. Eventually we'll run out, but there are multiple oil reserves that we can mess around with. And eventually we're going to start bringing back exotic materials that we can make some of the best stuff in the game, like super coolant, thermium, interesting things like Viscogel, stuff like that. But at any rate, that's going to be the end of this episode. Like this video if it's entertaining, subscribe for future Oxygen Not Included content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.